Hey folks, it's Maxie here and I am back, I am well. I no longer have the flu, I just have a little bit of a messed up voice still. But we are here for another episode of Impact Wrestling. We're here for the 2022 version of Impact Victory Road, where hopefully this is the show that takes us to medium level. There was a few impacts in the last couple of weeks which we'll touch on that got us a wee 56 region pop gain, which makes me think one special show here could be the one that triggers it. I've had a recruitment drive as well. They didn't really feature in the Impact tapings, but they will, some make a cameo here tonight, some will appear over the tapings as we head towards the July event, which is Slammiversary. So to give you an idea of the growth of the company within the last year, we took Impact to the Alabama Soccer Stadium in the southeast with an attendance of 1,500. We are looking at just over 11,000 for tonight's event. So a big increase there. And our main event last year saw the Monsters Ball match containing Sami Callahan, Phoenix, Darby Allin and Pentagon Jr. when it was a lot easier to get people in from AEW. Now I pretty much have to offer them Ronda Rousey to get anyone of a notable name. But some interesting stuff there. Lio Rush was our X Division champion. Thunder Rosa retained the Knockouts title. Matt Cardona retaining the Impact World title. And we also had new Knockouts tag team champions in the form of Deonna Purrazzo and Kimber Lee. You might see some spoilers in terms of who's going to be debuting, but we need to go to show history to talk you through the 4 tapings and what went down on the road to this event. So obviously, a sacrifice, we had the injury to Rey Fenix, which took him out of action. Not ideal. Screwed a lot of plans up. But as much as plans were messed up, it gave us an opportunity to obviously create a future matchup. So Josh Alexander, in defeating Ace Austin, put himself in a position to call his shot. So Kurt Angle, our matchmaker, decided to say, well, why don't we have at the main event of the evening, Josh Alexander, Ethan Page, and the winner can challenge Phoenix for the championship tonight at Victory Road. Sounds fair. Moved on with new champion Chris Sabin in the X Division defeat Crazy Steve in his first title defence. Claudio Castagnoli will win over Richard Holiday, which called out EC3, of course, that stable of Holiday, Johnny Dango and EC3. Not really happy with Castagnoli, so EC3 says, you've made an enemy within me, and I'm going to look to take that championship away from you. With Matt Cardona defeat AC Romero, Matt Cardona, the Deathmatch King, went to inflict some more pain on AC Romero. But it was Sami Callahan, who with a baseball bat in hand, who made the save. Tag champs, Will Hobbs and Wardlow defeated the Varsity Blondes in non-title action. We had Low Key stating that he is going to make sure that he becomes champion again in the X Division. I had Cousin Jake defeat TJP. Now this one's an interesting one. You're probably thinking, who the hell is this guy? So Lonnie Lydon, I think, I'm just waiting for his name as he is in the game, is a new gen wrestler, basically one that's come through the Creator Pro Academy, so he's not a real wrestler. But I was thinking, when I looked at his attributes and everything, I'm thinking, apart from not being second generation, this guy is going to be my version of Braun Breaker. So that's what we're going to try and do. A guy's got literally no stats, like everything's pretty poor. If we can click on him, I don't know if it'll let me here. You can see that he's over. He just entered wrestling, NWA's got him as well. He entered in December 2020, so he's been out a while, a year. But you can see they're technically not very good, psychology not very good, but he's powerful. I just want to try it. I've never done it before. I've never really been wanting to use new gen wrestlers. He does have a picture, just not in this one. You'll see that when his match happens at the pay-per-view, but something I'm quite keen to try. We then moved on to Jordan Grace defeating Priscilla Kelly to earn a title shot against Ronda Rousey. And in that main event we did a double count out between Josh Alexander and Ethan Page, which led to a heated confrontation of who is going to be the number 1 contender to end the first taping. On to the next taping, and we had a little bit of a confrontation, a few kind of feuds that have been obviously going on. Ronda Rousey, Natalia, of course Natty Neidhart, Deonna Purrazzo and Jordan Grace. The confrontation begins in the ring, and that will see our main event of Ronda versus Natty. Further Rosa and Veni defeated Fire and Flavour in our opening contest, and then Tennille Dashwood defeated Hiroyo Matsumoto in singles competition. Sika Matsumoto was working elsewhere, so we did not have her available for these tapings. So Tennille says, your partner should be back in time, I'll get myself a partner and we'll face each other off at the pay-per-view. Simple, effective. Matt Riddle defeats Chris Bay, with Castagnoli say, come ahead EC3, I'm not scared of you or your goons. I'll put the title on the line, no problem. Lonnie Loyden in his in-ring debut defeats Petey Williams. You can see what we're going here, putting him with a vet to try and help him get over. And then backstage, Chris Hero says, I see a lot of potential in you, and I am more than happy as the most professional wrestler to help guide you on the correct way. I can teach you. So obviously not too happy with how things went with him and Brian Myers. So Hero, as he maybe try to tap in, as he maybe try to corrupt Lonnie Loden, we'll have to find out. Alex Shelley in Suicide defeated Chris Sabin in Low Key in a 56. Sami Callahan defeated Shelton Benjamin in a 54. The angle was wrong here, the text on it was Matt Cardona trying to attack Sami Callahan, which he failed, and Callahan foiled him. We then had Ethan Page say, Josh, get out of my damn way, I deserve to be champion, you've been clinging on to me since we began the North. And we had Ronda Rousey defeat Natalie in the main event, a 69. You can see by that full show, everybody's pretty much in a level playing field. I don't have any real breakout stars, bar Ronda, but we put her in the main event because that was one where I was going to get the 56 popularity again because how good the main event was and get us that wee bit closer to getting to our goal of medium-sized company. So we had some more words from Ronda Rousey on Jordan Grace. She just says, you just like Thunder Rosa, you're just like everybody else. Fine, bring it on, we'll see what happens. At the pay-per-view, actually I really think that'd be a good match and looking forward to seeing how they go. Moose defeated Griff Garrison. Moose cuts a heel promo just saying he's been tired of being overlooked. He's going to find the right time, the right opportunity to make his mark. Tennille Dashwood defeat Natty. I know Natty keeps losing, but as I say, she's retiring, so I may as well just get her in there with as many people as possible, get her overness onto them, and hopefully help develop some skills at the same time. Sami Callahan defeats Roderick Strong. Sami just says, look what I've just done to this technical wrestler. Think what I'm going to do to you in a hardcore environment, Matt Cardona. I'm going to make you bleed all over the place. Backstage, Johnny Dango tries to get the one-up on Castagnoli. The two of them brawls. The referees pull them apart before they do battle in the ring. Castagnoli defeating Johnny Dango. A IOP defeating the Violent by Design in a 60. Before then, Wardlow and Hobbs say, yeah, good performance. You are entitled to a rematch, and we will see you at the pay-per-view. But if you are the inflictors of pain, and we're just powers of pain, just some mad thing like that. Chris Hero and Lonnie Loden again. Hero just basically saying we've revised over all the things that he's doing right and doing wrong, but we're going to steer him in the right direction. And Lonnie Loden defeats Cody Deaner in a 51. Dax Harwood in action against Pavel Kirkin, which was a 50. And your main event with two guys that didn't click, which was a bit disappointing, was Josh Alexander defeating Richard Holiday before All Ego Ethan Page attacked Josh to end the show. Not one of my best shows, a 56 overall, but it put us under pressure for this go-home show, which, thankfully, Ronda Rousey and Jordan Grace absolutely carried. So they started in the ring, they just says, this is going to be it, I'm going to prove that I am powerful enough to defeat you, Ronda Rousey. Good opening promo. We then had Suicide defeat Low Key, 57. It was Low Key's last match. I was not planning to extend his contract. So he's gone, Nevaeh's gone, Xperia's gone. There might be some others that will leave as well, just to, obviously because there's some new recruits coming in with more overness. And we can always bring them in at any point. There's no real pressure. It's all open contracts we're working with at the moment. Handshake deals. Matt Cardona defeats Eddie Edwards. Callahan says, impressive. But just think, this is another technical wrestler. We are not going to have a technical wrestling match at Victory Road. You better believe that, Matt Cardona. Chris Hero teams up with Lonnie Loden as they defeated Griff Garrison and Brian Pillman Jr. They cut a promo after it. IOP just say pain, vengeance is everything they're going to inflict on Wardlow and Hobbs. I had Cousin Jake defeat TJP with a 3-on-1 beatdown on Claudio Castagnoli of EC3, Johnny Dango and Richard Holiday. We had Shelton Benjamin defeat Heath. We then had Matt Riddle make an open challenge. You'll see where that links shortly. We then had the contract signing of Josh Alexander and Ethan Page. They brawl after it, but it is just them confirming both men will be part of the triple threat matchup. Page gets dragged away because he's in action next to see he faces Larry D, and he wins, and Ronda Rousey defeats Natalie in the main event before Jordynne Grace tries to get a cheap shot. The two of them are held apart, but it delivers a 70 angle. So to give you an idea of matches that are going to take place tonight then. Ronda Rousey, Jordynne Grace. Phoenix versus Josh Alexander versus Ethan Page. Matt Riddle Open Challenge. Castagnoli EC3. The IOP against the team of Wardlow and Will Hobbs. Chris Hero and Lonnie Lyodin in action. Hardcore match between Matt Cardona and Sami Callahan. Tino Dashwood and a tag team partner against the Knockouts tag champs Satomura and Matsumoto. Suicide versus Chris Sabin. And I think that's it off the top of my head. So hopefully I don't spoil anything else, I'll pause the video, and it's now time for Impact Wrestling Victory Road 2022. I'm on the road to Victory Road. That's not the song, but still, let's go. So here we go, and this was my wee cheap promo to make sure that we definitely gain pop and to make sure we do go to medium. We put the matchmaker Kurt Angle in with a promo. He just basically wishes everyone to have a really enjoyable time at the show tonight. He sees this as a proper changing of Impact Wrestling, like getting to the next level and getting back to where it was and surpassing where it was. He hopes 11,331 at the First National Bank Arena enjoy this and just say there's going to be some surprises. Get ready for them and get ready to lose your shit. Opening contest and a good matchup. Chris Sabin defeats Suicide in 12:03 by pinfall after using a foreign object. This was the second defence of the Impact X Division Championship. Obviously we're going to give Suicide the rematch, but we can't just hot potato the championship, so Sabin retains in a very good 55 rated matchup. Pretty similar in ring performance, and that's okay. I'm happy with that. We move along to the Tag Team Championships on the line, and it was about that had great wrestling and good heat as Will Hobbs and Wardlow defeat the Inflictors of Pain in 7:39 when Will Hobbs pins Slamani with a frog splash. Their third defence of the belts. This was all about getting Will Hobbs over, as he was obviously the weakest performance here, but some really good performances, let's be honest, from Dinza, Slamani and Wardlow, and a 61 is very good for our tag team division. Shelton Benjamin, who we expected to accept the open challenge from Matt Riddle, is just shown backstage, bloodied, battered, and he's been beaten down. He's like, I don't know who got me, they got me from behind, but by God, they were vicious. We cut to the ring, Matt Riddle's in the ring, so let's play the theme song in our heads because of copyright. Who the attacker was, likely, it's never been confirmed, but the person that's accepting the open challenge, Minoru Suzuki. The worst man in the world gimmick, initial rating of great. He is accepting the Matt Riddle challenge, 46. And their matchup had superb wrestling and great heat. Riddle and Suzuki have an absolute belter. 13:36 was the matchup length time. And obviously our contracted star picks up the win in a 66 rated matchup. You'll see over time that especially from like the last like year or so, like I'm obviously being exposed to more and more workers. Obviously I had an idea who Suzuki was, but I wouldn't say I actively go looking out for Japan stuff. Like I'm very WWE and AEW is pretty much it. Don't really have time for anything else, so, and even at that I was just WWE until like 2019, just because of the time. So the more I learn about wrestlers, and I prefer it people that I've seen, so obviously I've seen a lot of Suzuki now and I'm just like, wow. So you'll see a lot of these kind of people popping up. As I said to, was it Hammaster, I think I said it to, like, I use TW as like a research tool. There's so many people, like, example, quick delve down memory lane. I didn't even know what Ring of Honor was in 2010. I was just strictly WWE and TNA at the time. I learned about like Sami Zayn or Generico, Kevin Steen, etc. from EWR. So yeah. Wee fact there that I'm hoping these long-term saves can help me learn about the next generation going forward. We then had a superb matchup that saw Matt Cardona defeat Sami Callahan in 12:59 by pinfall with a Rough Rider, following interference by that very, very evil Danhausen. This was a hardcore match, just to confirm that. That'll be in booking details. One-on-one hardcore. So yeah, Danhausen has an alignment with Matt Cardona. Why not? DBD's Weirdo gimmick, which got an initial rating of poor. Both guys good performance though, and a 62 rated matchup. Really looking forward to working with that dynamic. I think we can do some special things with them. And they celebrate after the match. 52, look how evil he is. Obviously, forming that kind of alliance there will hopefully gain some overness to Danhausen. We then have Chris Hero backstage with Lonnie Leodon. He's got like Hispanic heritage, so I felt that was the best picture that would kind of capture that. So yeah, that's what we're going for. That's our Braun Breaker. But 56 there as they cut a promo for tonight's matchup. It's a simple squash. They take on the Decay. Hero and Leodon winning 7-10 when he pins Pavel Kirkin with the Riptide Facebuster. 48, a 58 performance because obviously he's over, but he's not very skilled. And Steve and Kirkin are a wee bit just fodder. But good win there, and a pay-per-view debut for Lonnie Leodon. Next up was the Knockouts Tag Team Championships in the line. Decent matchup. Matsumoto and Satomura defeat Tenille and Taya in 11:22, and Miko Satomura pinned Taya Valkyrie with a Death Valley Bomb. This was the third defence of the Knockouts tag titles, so no surprises here. It was just someone we already had in the roster. The temptation to bring someone in was there, but I felt like Taya's overness would hopefully boost Satomura, who kind of needs it. She's got the technical skills we know about, but maybe not as over as I would have liked, so she picks up the win. And it's back to the drawing board for a lot of our knockouts, because a few of them are kind of like they can't be in the women's division, they can't be in the tag division. It's tricky. Try to find and try to get people all to be in like the Warren momentum rather than just lost to Ronda. So it's tricky. Next up, we had a superb wrestling match with great heat as Claudio Castagnoli defeated EC3 in 11:48 with the neutralizer. Fourth defence of the Impact Television title. Simple, effective. Big man's not going to lose the belt just yet. Back to the drawing board for EC3. And Richard Holiday injured in independent action. He will not be back until Slammiversary, so he'll miss the tapings. An exceptional matchup. Ronda Rousey defeated Jordynne Grace in 17:51 by pinfall. Ronda Rousey makes the fifth defence of the Impact Knockouts Championship. A 71 here, a 56 for Jordynne Grace, a 80 for Ronda, who was off her game. Didn't know these two had pretty good chemistry, so that was good to know. Obviously, Thunder Rosa is not over enough to take the belt from Ronda. Neither is Jordynne Grace. Quite surprised it didn't suffer from a wacky psychology. I felt that would cost it, even though it was over. It was under 20 minutes, but still, hopefully we get there. If we keep giving Ronda victory, she'll get some experience eventually. But yeah, there was a temptation to put it as main event, but the surprise at the end justifies why it's not the main event. Big good win from Ronda Rousey. And main event, superb wrestling and great heat. Josh Alexander defeated Phoenix and Ethan Page in 18:05 when Josh Alexander pinned Ethan Page with a Pearl River plunge, meaning that Josh Alexander wins the Impact World Championship. So, may have been influenced by obviously Impact Wrestling's booking, but I just felt like Phoenix doesn't really have the promo skills. I'd quite like to go other routes with Phoenix rather than holding the belt, but it was good enough to get us to medium. We've got a feud straight away between Alexander and Ethan Page. You get Alexander, who Page basically the better of, but when it came to the big one, it was Josh Alexander that prevails. And it just shows you that, like, because of how tight everyone is in terms of overness, we can pick it, we can drop people up, we can bring people up. It's going to be, everyone's kind of in the same overness level apart from the few down the bottom, so I'm hoping we can see some surprise champions. But yeah, Josh is going to lead us into this new era. Celebrates in the ring, family gets in the ring, everything's fantastic. Surely it's not going to be a repeat of real life where he gets the call your shot and attack straight away. Not quite, to an extent. He does get attacked though, and beating him down, making his debut, or making his re-debut back in Impact Wrestling, a free agent in this mod, because this was before he'd re-signed. This was started as Samoa Joe, puts him in the Kikuna clutch, and he is back in Impact Wrestling, and he is going for that championship belt. Just a 57, not the most over in the world, but these two I think are going to put on an absolute classic when they do tangle. The show itself was a 65. The promo at the start kind of saves us, because obviously we will still lose because I'm not paying the production values, so it's just, I still feel it would put us into debt as well as any money, but that may change shortly, because if we do move to medium, I can start to look at television deals and pay-per-view deals, and we can again look to increase our revenue. So I felt that was a very successful show. I was very, very happy with it. I don't know how you felt about it, but it gave us some opportunities to push some new people on, and yeah, we're going to have a real good chance of trying new things going forward, which I'm absolutely buzzing for. And yeah, getting to use some more Joe, but like having Joe in, Suzuki in, Danhausen, it's my first chance ever really booking Danhausen in TW, which is crazy. So yeah, but we're looking forward to it. Andrade's going to re-sign with WWE. That's how long ago the mod started. It actually started like December 2020. So it just shows you that week by week, so much can change in the world of wrestling. Well, you just need to look at that picture, again as we see there, Bronson Reed called up to the main roster. But if you saw the picture where it was the Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole 2 months before this, in the ring with a stare down, and it's practically NXT 2.0, that's all the security guards. Crazy image. It just shows you how much everything can change. Where is Victory Road? It was awesome. Oh my word, we're still 58? That wasn't enough to push us forward? Jesus, we're going to have to go really all out in these tapings to get us to medium. That's annoying. Obviously Josh will request an increase, but that's fine, I don't mind that. I'll pay the guy. Matt Riddle, Pavel Kirkin can't sell anything. 127,000 viewers. Buy rate would have been 0, because I put it in Impact Plus. I felt like it's cool. You're not going to make much money off of the Fight TV deal, pay-per-view money, so I mean, I've practically made peanuts off it, so I just feel like we'll get the exposure. We're going to make the money through ticket sales anyway. That's obviously our main, well, sponsorship's been good, but that, merch is doing okay, and eventually broadcast revenue is going to go up. Worker costs are always going to go up, that's fine, I'm aware of that, but if we keep getting bigger, the pay-per-view will save us. The monthly pay-per-view is what's keeping us afloat and keeping us profits at record margin. I'm assuming once we get miscellaneous and tax, we'll probably drop to roughly about 200,000 profit, so I'd imagine we'll be sitting maybe about 1.9 million, which is a much better position than we were a year ago. And you can see there where we went a wee bit ambitious with production. Obviously now, production costs, I feel like we could go that way if we did, so I'll just bulk up to maybe 2 or 3 million or the medium, and we'll go from there. So I'll call it there. I don't want to ruin any more of the surprises, because you'll probably see them in action at the next pay-per-view, which is, drumroll please, Slammiversary. Let's just make sure that it is a normal show, 3 hours and active. Yep, all is good. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you next week, next Monday, for Impact Wrestling Slammiversary. Take it easy. Bye bye.